Hi. Short Bus Debate Club. It's a bus rolling. I can get on board. Hello, I'm Darren Jolly. It's time to get this short bus started. So let's roll and on with the show. All right, people. This is Brian Courtney with Short Bus Debate Club, and this is part 2 of UFOs, UAPs, aliens, whatever. Darren Jolly is over there.
Part 2.
I don't know why that reminded me of Spaceballs. I don't think they said anything like that in Spaceballs, but
it was that stupid Hot Shots movie. Then they have Hot Shots and then Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah. It was a parody movie, but so in the first one your audio was really good. You need to talk in the microphone.
Fuck you. Was that a little bit better?
That was much better. Thank you.
Testing. Fuck you. Part 2.
So we are going to continue our little conversation about UFOs. I know Darren really wanted to talk about the most recent newsworthy event, and I say that with the utmost seriousness, which was the House Committee on UFOs, UAPs, and or alien life. So I will hand the mic over to Darren and let him talk about it.
Well, again, like, and I'm gonna belabor the point a little bit, but so when I started looking at all this stuff, like I'd said before, like Breaking Points was talking about all these things all the time. They also talked about it on the Hill a bunch. Two of the media spaces that are by no stretch of the imagination perfect, but are a lot better than your typical CNN, MSNBC, Fox news, where it's all sort of like canned information that's being put out there. But when I started to look back at like the ties that sort of like led to this moment, again, like Lou Elizondo was like this huge counterintelligence guy. He headed up this investigative arm inside of some sort of space in the intelligence community called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP. And like when you look at ideas that are being put out there by specific demographics like intelligence agencies, there was a guy, he at least at the time that this sort of investigative position developed, Lou Elizondo, he left ATIP. He worked with a bunch of other people, and they were put together sort of like piecemeal with the help of, hang on, let me get this guy's name real quick. The lead singer of Blink 182, whose name is Mark Hoppus, I think, or Tom DeLonge. That was one of it. So Tom DeLonge was, for some reason, he just had this aliens, like what the fuck aliens thing, and he reached out to Lou Elizondo, and they got all these other people and put them together. And in the midst of it all, this dude by the name of Brian Bender, who's a national security correspondent for Politico at the time, and when I listened to Bender talk about things that he unearths, clearly he has a relationship with certain people inside of the intelligence community. And that means that when the intelligence community wants to start to shape or frame a certain perception in the collective consciousness of civil society inside the United States, they'll use these sort of news channels. When we were talking, a couple months about that goofy ass motherfucker that shot up that mall, and the news organization that sort of drove the discussion, suggesting that he was part of a bigger sort of like people with Spanish surnames that are sort of like emerging as sort of like a neo-Nazi faction. When I look at Brian Bender's construction of these articles that he puts out, it looks like he's basically like a mouthpiece for the intelligence community, which of course, like if you are paying close attention to the world that you're living in right now, and you see the way that big legacy media space, particularly cable media spaces, they sort of, in a lot of instances, seem like they're here to. It's almost like a 1984 Soviet Union kind of thing, where there's no real separation between the media and state. But Tom DeLonge and all of these individuals came together, and there were certain ideas that kept being floated when they were talking about all of these different emerging knowledges with regards to UAPs, right? So one of the things they talked about a fair amount in that UF Mysteries Exposed, Unidentified Inside America's U.F.O. investigation. You can find it if you go to YouTube and look that up, you'll be able to find it. It got posted on April 2nd this year. It's had well over 2 million hits. So a lot of people have been looking at this. But one of the ideas that they talked about, and the point that they were trying to make, was that these technologies, that these crafts, the ones that were associated with the Tic Tac incident, and also the incident by Virginia Beach in 2014 by Ryan Graves, they had this concept called observables. All right, observables were the tendencies that these UAPs had that we neither understood nor had any like concrete way to link the capabilities with which these aircrafts, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, were doing, like in our on our planes, on our helicopters, on our drones. These are ideas that we can't even begin to approach. Like one of them is there's sort of an anti-gravity position that they focus on a ton. Instantaneous acceleration, where you can't even see how the acceleration is happening. Like the idea is that like when you see a plane go, you're going to see heat, because the heat is what's driving the that sort of like explosive force forward, right? Another one is hypersonic velocity. That thing about that the Tic Tac, again, like achieving speeds above 3,600 miles an hour, which is more than 6 times faster than the speed of sound. The issue of low observability, to where like the way that we think about it is like cloaking devices or something like what we see with the B-1 bombers, but it's significantly more developed than that. And the other is transmedium travel, like I was talking about earlier, where you can pass from, like if you're in space where there's no really inertia, nothing's really stopping you, because the air particles are so far apart from one another, whatever. And then you get into the atmosphere, right? And things should slow down. They appear to be unaffected by it. And then literally they can go into water. And again, like it's like the water isn't even there. They just cut through it like a fucking knife and butter, But everything about these observables concepts point to the fact, and it's something that keeps being reiterated over and over and over again. It's reiterated over and over in the show. And if you go and you listen to that oversight committee from yesterday, the point that they make over and over and over again is these are technologies that we don't understand how to even approximate. And one of the questions that was asked and you couldn't tell whether it was a Republican that was asking the question or a Democrat. AOC was on the fucking panel, and like she certainly didn't get up on any of her, high horses. When she's getting on her high horses less and less now that she's sort of becoming a career politician. It seems like, but that's beside the point. The idea is that they all just kept asking questions. They said, so if you wanted to be able to engage one of these aircraft and try to bring it down, like if it was a clear threat, could you do that? And what was repeated over and over and over again was no, we need to find a way to remedy that situation. This is a clear national security issue. And if somebody else in this sort of like new Cold War technology race gains the ability to master these technologies before the U.S. does, then we would not only be vulnerable to alien capabilities, we would be vulnerable to Chinese capabilities or Russian capabilities, or pick the country, North Korean capabilities, Iranian capabilities, whatever demon is the flavor of the month that you're trying to put yourself up against. So again, like it sort of diverts our attention away from the fact it doesn't really matter whether it's true or not anymore. It only matters that there's something out there that has the capabilities that we don't have, and we have to engage in this race where we can create a defensible position to where we feel safe again. And we should not feel safe until we've started, so just instilling fear in people. And that's just where the entire narrative from the moment when Luis Elizondo started doing what he was doing to David Grush right now, and all the people that are around it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying necessarily that that everybody that's sort of like testifying and talking about this is fully conscientious of the dialectic that's being driven forward through that rhetorical space. But when you have, reputable pilots saying this is what we saw that they were capable of, this is what we saw that they're capable of, it's well beyond our immediate capabilities. Again, like it's pretty clear what the intent is when you keep framing the question in this certain light. So whether they're real or not, the technology is being pushed forward as if it were real, and the only thing that we should be concerned about is it's like the moment when we knew that the Germans were trying to develop a nuclear bomb, and we had to use all those scientists that we helped to escape from Nazi Germany, get down to that space where Oppenheimer was at in New Mexico, and we had to beat them to the punch. And that's what this is sounding an awful lot like to me when I listen to all of these rhetorical dispositions.
Well, I think that's what, I mean, we talked about it in the first episode a little bit, where we were kind of halfway joking about 1.2 trillion and research and development for DARPA, because we wanted to learn how to fight aliens, or develop the technology to fight aliens. So yeah, I agree with you. I just think that it's hysterical, and I don't know how you would find someone like, okay, so first off, a lot of the justifications that they use, the killing the radar or the killing the cameras or whatever. I mean, with the exception of the heat signatures from emissions, being non-existent, you or I don't know of any planes or aircraft or vehicles generally that don't generate some sort of heat signature. But a lot of the technology that they're talking about, we do have, and they use, I mean, on a daily basis. Fuck, the Denver Broncos and probably every NFL team around the country uses technology where, if they're about to start a play, you can't take a picture. I mean, they kill that shit, or you might be able to take a picture, but you can't send it. You can't text message that picture to anybody because they don't want you sending it to the New York Jets or the Patriots or whoever. So the technology for a lot of the stuff we're talking about already exists and has for a long time. I mean, I worked for a school that sold education in avionics back in 2002, 2003. And one of the instructors there told me that, he can develop something and has that would kill cameras around, 100 feet of wherever you had this device. So, because I was talking about the fact that they're installing cameras on every corner, and I think the way that it came up was because I was talking about somebody that they tracked on camera along I-25 going from Denver all the way to Mexico. And, well, not all the way to Mexico on I-25, but you get the point. So he said, if you threw this device that he made in the car, then, and just souped it up a little bit because of the distance, that the only way they would have known for sure that that person was there is if they knew he had the device, and then they could only tell to a certain degree because, with a strong enough signal, you can kill another electronic signal, its capabilities in order to do whatever, whether it's recording audio or video or whatever. So
there's instances when you're scrambling it, but it's not like EMP type stuff.
Right, because, well, sort of, but I mean, talking about the EMP, the Navy developed a device because they figured out after, I can't remember if it was Nagasaki or Hiroshima, but after one of them, they figured out that this huge fucking pulse killed everything. So the government started working on a device where they could basically kill a fucking country's infrastructure without ruining all of the buildings and stuff, so just make them blind and deaf. And then you can go in and shoot them. So the Navy, I think it was in 1998, they started talking about that shit on the History Channel. And so that's a real thing, the EMP thing. So that type of technology exists now. So, and those are things that they're admitting that we have. So again, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but if they're admitting to this cool capability that we didn't have 50 years ago and we have now, then imagine the kind of shit that they're not admitting that we have, that maybe they're only going to admit in 2071, or that the UK will admit in 2071. So that stuff is out there. And the reason I kind of went off on that huge tangent is because if I want to know something about how to, I don't know, break down a chemical compound, then I'm going to find a chemist. And hopefully a chemist that is at the top of their field, so that I truly understand how chemistry works and how to do what it is I'm trying to do. When we're talking about this kind of stuff, there are experts in military aircraft. There are experts in engineering. But I don't think being an expert in either of those things make you an expert in what is an alien, or how many times an alien has been here, or and what I'm trying to get at is the fact that I don't know what makes these guys that testified at the House hearing yesterday or did the documentaries or whatever. I don't know what makes them experts enough to where we should believe them enough to be scared, so that we tell our congressman, yes, go ahead and give them X number of dollars every year to fight against this non-existent threat.
Well, I would say two things in response to that. First, using EMPs and like these various jamming, capabilities and whatnot. Again, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it seems like we don't have the ability to channel it in as directed a way as it's being suggested. That those at least as again. So like the point that you said. So on one level, there's the things that we know as a population, and then there's the things that we don't know, and then there's the things that we don't even know that we don't know. So there's a huge gap in that area. But because we've had this sort of theater going on between Russia and the Ukraine for the last, little over a year now, well, a fair amount over a year now, it would seem like if some of those capabilities were present, then some of that would have been like put out there, at least to some extent. Now, again, whether or not we'd be able to, it would be reported or seen and reported. Again, that's another question. I think that we might have some small capabilities with regards to what it is that you're talking about there, but I don't think that we have gotten to a space where, if I'm playing devil's advocate, and I'll just say that I believe what it was that those pilots saw was real. I don't think that we can do it in as sharp a way as those other entities would be doing it. But having said that, the whole point of what it is that you and I do is that there's this whole concept of expertise that exists writ large throughout the world right now, and you and I both reject all epistemological bases in relation to that. Like that, we don't even know what knowledge is. I mean, we really don't. So, all you have to do at that point in time is make a good show out of it, And I don't even like that. This show that's on fucking the History Channel 1. Like, one of the things that really fucking irritates me about it is every time Alzanda goes and he does his little interviewing, the way that he so clearly is trying to construct a very specific narrative, and like it's so fucking insulting to me sometimes. The way
and to like lead the witness.
Yeah, it's just obnoxious, and the way that they'll go back and they'll repeat, well, we can't talk about this stuff because it's part of that sphere of stuff that's classified. But if this, then that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. Like one of the things that they kept leading, there's a person that they interviewed who was working on a military base, and it was Montana, one of the big northern nuclear sites in the U.S. at that time period. And there was a U.A.P that flew over it, and it knocked out all the stuff that was containing 10 specific nuclear missiles, right? So again, like I said about the 1947 thing earlier, and I don't think that's unreasonable to suggest that if you had beings that were outside of our realm of existence, whether through distance or through planes of existence, dimensions, if they saw that we had certain nuclear capabilities, they'd come take a peek at it. They would spend a lot of time looking at military bases. That seems like a reasonable suggestion, but everything is being framed in that way when Alessandra goes to all these different spaces. And like, again, like it just seems really disingenuous. It seems like, again, you're trying to lead us in a very specific direction because you have very clear, you want to bring us to very clear conclusions that follow your, we need to deal with self-defense. We need to deal with developing, these new technologies to be able to protect ourselves. I mean, it's all like, and again, like Grush does it from a different angle, but he still does it in essentially the same way. It just seems, he looks like a counterintelligence guy trying to construct certain.
Well, and we're not even, I mean, like, I'm assuming that the hearings yesterday were probably live and unedited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the documentary on the History Channel that you're talking about
was not.
That was fucking edited. And so I've got a couple of problems with at least the hearing part. Because, okay, so you can become an expert in something by talking to enough people and reading enough and whatever, but it sounds like this fucking Grosh guy is just someone that someone told some stories to, and now he's telling the stories to the fucking committee. Well,
it's all hearsay.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, I mean, this committee is supposed to be a fucking, for lack of a better word, a hearing. I mean, it's supposed to be legal, and in a court of law, that shit would never be allowed because it is fucking hearsay. And so for them to be saying, oh, well, this is evidence, that's not fucking evidence. It's some guy spinning a yarn about aliens. It's not much fucking different than the tabloid shit at the grocery store. And I don't even know if they have it at the grocery store anymore, but I know it was prevalent for 2 fucking decades at least. I mean, the Globe, the Inquirer, I don't know, Rupert Murdoch was big into that shit. That, I think that's how he made most of his money.
Yeah.
So I've got a problem with that. I don't care if you talk about aliens. I don't care if you tell me you believe in aliens. But for you to submit it as proof, and then for Congress to say, you know what, he proved it. We have to come up with a plan. Motherfucker, we have to come up with a plan for shit that is here now. The stuff that they consider a security issue, it seems like every other thing that we talk about is a security issue.
It's all we see.
Yeah, the fucking rare earth element thing, that's a security issue because we're too dependent on it from foreign entities. I just read a fucking thing about drugs because of the opioid shortage. The Senate said that our dependency on the ingredients for opioids from foreign countries
is a security issue.
Well, anyway, I don't want to go down too many different roads here, but you get my point, and I hope that our listeners
well, and it's funny that so when Corbell and Sauger, so like they both went to the hearing, and in the aftermath, Sauger does an interview with Corbell and or Corbell or whatever the fuck his last name is, and there are certain things that he does that I admire, and I think that it's important to drive these discussions forward. But there was something that you said at the beginning of your comment to where it is a testimony in front of Congress, so it was done on the record. Therefore, it means something different than if it's done off the record. Because if later, at a later date, it gets proven that everything that Grush was saying was a lie, then he's perjured himself, and he would deal with a different set of consequences. And they were sort of like going off on all of these points that he made. Again, like, so there was this space where they got into this line of questioning. So they said so, because they kept asking him what had been reported to him with regards to specifics, right? So there are U.A.Ps that this has been reported to, yes, multiple U.A.Ps, yes. Aliens, right? Then he says not as such, right? He says, but when we talk about this, I have to be careful so that I don't violate my security clearance positions as I'm navigating this whistleblower way that I'm dealing with this stuff. So they changed the wording. Was there something that was living that was tied to these crafts? And he said there were things that were reported, and they said so it was not humans, they were biologic, and he said non-human biological, right? So this is something that that like Sagar and Corbell got really excited about. And then the last point that they talked about, because they kept asking about whether he had been intimidated for coming out, whether or not he had been threatened with violence, whether or not he'd been threatened with death, whether or not other people that had reported the information to him were being threatened, if they were to come forward with more concrete information as the people that actually had seen these things. And he said, yes, but I got to be careful about what I'll admit to or what I'm allowed to talk about. Again, it kept going back into, I can say these things in a closed session with the right kind of people that have the right kind of security clearance, but I can't say it in an open session. That kept being repeated. But he insinuated the fact that people had been injured, people had been, and possibly in certain instances, it had been suggested that people had been killed for their knowledge. And the last thing that they said is, well, not like this happened in succession, but these are the things that, like, in the interview they were making a big deal out of in the aftermath. They said while they were doing the reverse engineering on these technologies, had anybody been injured or had anybody been killed? And he said yes in both instances. So, but then they would try to press further, and then he'd say has to be in a closed session, right? So again, like, it takes us back into that space where, like, we're limited because there's only certain things that are allowed. I mean, this is like fucking JFK shit all over again, you know? Like, we know somebody killed JFK. We know that it was some people that had some power and the ability to move some fucking pieces on a chessboard. But still, we can't learn anything about the concrete side of it because anybody that had a tie to that is either dead now or, again, like, they're in that space where they can't talk about it. And this is exactly the same thing as it relates to this, where anybody that actually has direct contact to it, it's always, you know, what we're in the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We're in degree number 2, and we can never get to the first fucking degree.
Right. And, well, see, I don't know. Like, so when I was doing my research, I found a couple of names that I would think they probably have a better idea. And this is someone I might consider an expert. So the 6th person to ever walk on the moon was Edgar Mitchell. He said he believed in alien life. Not specifically UFOs, but aliens, right? Or extraterrestrials. The UK astronaut, her name was Helen Sharman. And she said
Was she squishy?
Yes. And she went, hoo-hoo. So she said she believed in aliens also. Now, both of these people, Helen Sharman, I don't think she was on the moon. I think she was at the space station. But either way, they've been to space. What's his name? Mitchell made it almost sound like he had seen something to make him believe in what he was saying. And I think, and I couldn't find it, but I thought that those first guys, fucking Neil Armstrong and yeah, all of those guys, I thought that one of them made it sound like they believed also, but NASA completely separated themselves from them, and they did the same thing with Mitchell. You know, that's his belief, not ours. You know, don't take what he says and all of this shit. And now the government is probably gonna pull that shit back into a loop and say, no, our astronauts even said they believe in it and they've seen it. But when they said it, again, the government said, no, 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 can't be. But now that they're trying to do whatever it is they're trying to do, they'll take some fucking guy who's heard from 6 people, maybe not. I mean, anybody can go up and say, no, this guy told me that. He told me that somebody died while reverse engineering this. And someone else in the same unit told me that someone else had died from it. And someone else told that person. So it was a friend of a friend of a friend that told them that. And that person told me. You know, I mean, so to say, nope, the astronauts didn't say that, or if they did say that, that isn't our belief. But then some fucking dickhead can say, well, no, 10 of my friends told me this. So you guys need to believe now. I just, like, it doesn't make any sense to me how that progression works. And again, I would think that the people who had actually been to space, not necessarily more credible, but they've been to space. So that makes them at least a little bit more credible than the guy who wasn't even working on any of the fucking projects that he's talking about. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
No, I think that that's valuable, and it reminds me of so you remember in Game of Thrones, right? When Tyrion Lannister figured out that somebody was leaking information to Cersei.
Yeah.
So he tells Varys and Littlefinger and Parcell, you know, we're going to send, I'm going to marry him off to this one. I'm going to marry her off to this one. And then she finds out that it's that fucking old ass fucking, what do they call him?
The Meister.
The Meister, yeah.
For the
fucking, yeah, for King's Landing. And then he fucking throws him into a cell for being a fucking prick, which I was glad when he fucking got killed. He was such an asshole anyway. But, like, sometimes if you're running a game inside of an intelligence community, you do things like that, and you run a two-tiered strategy, right? The strategy is that there's a value in you getting the information out into the popular world because it helps to advance a certain policy initiative that you're trying to advance. But it also allows us to see where there's a space for someone that their trust is limited. Like we can't let them get past any sort of a spot. So, I mean, how do we know that since this is all secondhand knowledge, that this isn't just a test that they were putting on those individuals to see whether they were trustworthy or not, and now they demonstrated themselves as maybe attention seekers, you know, in the world, who are going to have a nice book that they're going to write off of this. They're going to make $3 or $4 million, but they're never going to get anything anywhere inside the intelligence community again because they're not they're not effectively trustworthy. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's happening, but like if we're going to be appropriately skeptical about the way that things are being done, I mean, the end all be all is that I cannot trust any of these people that are making these claims. And I appreciate people like uh, the Corbell guy trying to go out and do, because I do think that generally speaking, he's a good faith actor. I think that he's really trying to get to the bottom of these things. But at the same time, and maybe this is just because I'm cynical of anybody that works for an intelligence agency inside of the United States, particularly somebody that works in counterintelligence. I mean, your whole fucking existence is rooted in lying, in giving people bad information to try to drive thoughts in a specific direction so that you can manipulate that the lack of knowledge about what's really happening in the real world.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like asshole-ish. So honestly, if your intention is to try to put people in a position where we're supposed to find them credible, maybe they could have picked some better people than people who get paid to lie for a living.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, what's kind of funny about the whole deal is that this was a fucking House committee, and most of the members of the House, like, okay, so if you believe the Roswell incident happened and they took non-human biologics and parts of the spacecraft, then supposedly that ended up at Area 51. Well, most of the members of House, maybe they've been able to read certain redacted documents on the incident. Maybe they've been able, because since 1947 there have been other such reports, that have happened here in the United States or globally. And of course, the United States always has to poke its nose in wherever it happens. But most of the members of House probably haven't even had the opportunity to go to Area 51 or see those reports in an unredacted version. So for them to be sitting on this committee and listen to some fucking asshole who didn't ever see any of it himself, there's a certain fucking irony there, right? I mean, we're the experts that are telling you that we're in a poor posture with regard to defense from extraterrestrials, but none of us have seen the things that we're talking about right this minute to, justify increasing our security posture with regard to extraterrestrials.
Well, and honestly, like, if it was so, like the reason why my JFK analogy is a bad one is that maybe even when I suggested that there's nobody that's fucking alive left from all that shit back then, right? But this is stuff that if what these people are saying is true, it's all there. You don't have to show us everything, but you got to give us a fucking glimpse. Just give us a fucking little peep show, right? And then, but right now, like, we live in the most cynical moment in the history of the United States right now, after COVID and after Russiagate and Trump in the fucking election and Obama's fucking change and hope, and then becoming the biggest fucking apologist for Goldman Sachs in the history of the fucking universe. Having a fucking president who was nicknamed fucking Senator Mastercard or Senator BOA or whatever, because the Delaware place, like he had so many ties to credit card companies. Like every member that's existed on the Supreme Court, now they're pulling all this information where they are getting, $500,000 trips from fucking billionaires and not just fucking Clarence Thomas, every single fucking one of them. Fucking Sotomayor, like, she has this book thing that she does where she's selling books that she didn't even write. Like, people on her fucking staff are doing these rights so that she can go and have these library presentations. And if you want her to come to the library presentation, you have to buy Y amount of books from her collection, or she's not going to show up. Because that's like with the honorarium that she gets paid on top of the amount of money that she makes off of the book sales, she won't even fucking go. And this is supposed to be one of like the liberal do-gooders fucking on the Supreme Court. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, tons and tons of money flowed to her from in terms of free gifts, you know. So you can go on and on and on about, you know, the stock deals, you know, with Nancy Pelosi and her husband, and every motherfucker in fucking Congress almost, you know, like, you want us to take things on faith when you haven't conducted a good faith and act in government. So I mean, that's why, you know, I don't give a fuck whether or not Cornel West is fucking could win presidency or not. I like to have a symbolic person there standing, you know, bearing testament to the fact that both parties are full of shit. Everybody that functions inside of government is full of shit. We cannot trust you. If you have the evidence there, don't give us secondhand fucking bullshit. And don't sit there in a fucking subcommittee, whatever, the oversight committee, and like you said, give us secondhand knowledge and expect that we're going to take it on faith. And especially when you're trying,
a lot of people will.
But that's because a lot of people are assholes, you know.
And they were writing the U.F.O desk letters saying, "Can I have a job?"
Yeah, they were, or they might be a janitor at a custodial engineer at Lockheed Martin, and they have a financial interest in making sure that these defense contractors, you know, there's not a congressional district where there isn't a defense contract tied to anymore, and that's a fact. Like, that's something that you can go on, and it's demonstrable, you know. So when your entire economy is built on R&D, military-industrial complex, DoD, you know, intelligence, every single aspect of that. I mean, it's so funny when I think about like the way that we looked at the Soviet Union and how much we're sort of like emulating their
human
MO.
rights.
Yeah, their whole system of existence, and we just take everything on faith. Yeah, we believe you, Mr. Grush. You know, we believe you, Mr. Alessandro. We believe all of you.
I keep trying to think of justifiable reasons. And when I say justifiable, I don't mean like the way they justify it. I mean, like a reason, like, do they not tell us because of our safety? Do they not tell us because it is genuinely a security risk if that information were to get out? Or is it some fucking horse shit like the GOP, because they're all a fucking bunch of dumb Bible thumping cocksuckers, that if it got out that, you know, extraterrestrials did exist, that, you know, then all of a sudden the Bible and fucking religion crashes, and now how are they going to control us, because they can no longer do it based on the reward of heaven or the fear of hell.
Yeah, the primary ethical belief structure becomes the base, because
so
it makes sense.
We're not gonna count on people to, you know, follow the golden rule and treat people the way that they'd want to be treated. We figured that it has to be, you know, some religious thing that keeps us all in line, which is fucking horseshit. Even though I do know a bunch of fucking retards that are religious and probably don't do the things that they want to do because of religion. Whatever. I don't want to get into a whole religious thing, but I wonder if it's something like that.
That was, I mean, curiously, that was a point that came up in the committee hearings too. Like there was some things that actually Grosh said. He said sometimes, and the pilots actually talked a bunch, particularly the one that was from 2004, because he had sort of ascended in the military a fair amount, and his clearances grew, throughout time. They'd be like, why is this, why is this deemed, why is this classified? Why is this classified? Why is this classified? And another thing kind of like occurred to me based on a suggestion that somebody made is that, like, if you make the haystack so big, the real needles are so impossible to find because you have to read so deep into everything and you have to have such a high level of classified access. By the time you get to that point where you would have the ability to find all the, the smoking guns and all that, you wouldn't do it because your entire existence is tied to the reproduction of the social system that you're tied to. But I definitely think that what I'm saying could be true at the same time as what you're just saying. It could be true. I mean, because religion as the opiate of the masses is a really easy way to keep people in line, and hiding the real secrets underneath a pile of fake secrets is a good way to keep that stuff very difficult for anybody to get to, because especially because you have to, like, again, gain so much access before you're even going to be able to get through those redacted spaces and all that. So
I don't know. It just the whole thing makes me wonder, and I got to go back to what both of us said. I mean, obviously we're not saying that extraterrestrials or life on another planet or a fucking asteroid or whatever, life elsewhere, I mean, probably exists. It's got to. I mean, with everything that is out there, we can't be the only ones.
Yeah, math dictates that what you say is true. And this whole discussion bastardizes the excitement of that possibility, the curious scientific interest that would allow us to, because everything gets reduced to the Department of Defense and the fucking Pentagon. Like, it gets obscured by clouds, I mean, we can't see through it, all we can see is what is being fed to us through these fucking bullshit spaces, where we end up talking about not, again, the excitement of what that would mean, whether they're good or they're bad or whatever the situation is. All we think about is the framework that's being presented to us.
And I'm not trying to back our government and the politicians that ran that fucking horseshit hearing yesterday, but I wonder, just like, okay, because we talked about the cattle mutilations real briefly. We talked about the Globe and the Inquirer and the fact that every story in every fucking issue there was at least one story about aliens. And so I wonder if, because of the day and age where we are now, if they had to change things because of the news cycle and all of that stuff, but also because if we kept repeating the same stories over and over again, that no one would buy the newspaper, or no one would watch that TV, and ad revenue would go down. And so now, the stories of extraterrestrials went down the toilet and were no longer exciting. So they had to change the way they were telling the story. They had to change the story that was being told. So now, instead of it being my neighbor was taken to a spaceship and had something planted in him, or had his nuts taken away, or
fire shooting out of my ass,
whatever. Now it's, well, I know a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy that saw this thing, and it went this way, and then I knew another guy who knew another guy who died on the thing, and, well, I can't tell you about this other thing. But if
it's
we
behind the classified wall.
Yeah, if we go to another office, then maybe I can tell you about that thing. But I can only tell you. I can't tell you or you.
And you have to know the secret handshake, and you also have to wear one of those eyes wide shut masks too.
Right. So I don't know. I just keep trying to figure out why they're telling it the way they are and what good it does them. The only thing I can think of is what we talked about as far as getting more money for DARPA or getting more money for NASA. As far as I'm concerned, NASA is just a huge fucking slush fund for the intelligence community.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, there's no space shuttles anymore. I
Right.
mean, our only space fucking stuff is SpaceX now, and that motherfucker's a dipshit. You know, I mean, whatever. I mean, you're fine, Elon. I mean, I don't really fucking care. I mean, you want to hear something stupid? So I think that
obviously,
yeah, okay, because we do this a lot. That's true. So him and Facebook douchebag have challenged each other to mixed martial arts fight. So Facebook douchebag or whatever the Zuckerberg, yeah, he's been doing all this training and like they've been talking through Dana White to each other about this. They floated wanting to do it in the Roman Colosseum. I mean, it's so fucking embarrassing, right? But like, this is the world we live in right now. I mean, this is just fucking. I mean, that's not entertainment, you know. Watching two fucking billionaires. I mean, seriously, like if you set the fight, like the time of the over under, like it's gonna be over. They don't have the. I mean, they might have some cardio, but
no. But it's one of those things where I'm sure they have a something set where, okay, you can't hit me in the face, and obviously no small joint manipulation and no jujitsu and none of this. So you can use your knees, you can use your fists, but only to the mid sternum, and that's it. And I mean,
so it's not an MMA fight.
No, it's a fucking ad because I'm sure, you know, like for a long time, anybody younger than say, I don't know, the ex was using Facebook when I moved over here still, and I think she still does. But while I was living there, like when I talked to my niece or nephew, they hadn't used Facebook in forever. They had moved on to all of these other platforms.
Instagram and Ding Dong or TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, Twitter was, going out. They were both going out kind of the way of MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody even knows what fucking MySpace was.
Yeah.
So Twitter and Facebook, this MMA fight is probably just a fucking ad for Twitter and Facebook.
Well, they're changing the name of Twitter now.
To twat? Or?
To X.
Are they really?
I think that's what I heard, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
The NASA point, though, was good. I mean, because it is only for, you're right, it's only for defense now. It's another one of those Lockheed Martin, fucking General Dynamics.
Well, I've said it for a long time, and don't get me wrong, the fucking, like, the pictures, like, if you go to the NASA website, you can see cool pictures of the fucking Crab Nebula and all these other things, and they're supposed to be taken by the Hubble telescope. But I mean,
the Webb one now, that's the new one.
The way those things fucking look, I mean, Aaron could have drawn those fucking things and said, this is
7 galaxies over.
Right. So like I said, I think it's just a fucking slush fund for the military and intelligence communities. Because they have huge budgets, and the House and the Senate always seem to give them their money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But yeah, I think The military-industrial complex obviously likes to get money. Senate and the House obviously love to give them money. But to use extraterrestrials or aliens as a way to justify giving them more money, I think is fucking horseshit. We've got dire, on the verge of emergency type of issues on this planet now. You know, I mean, the environment is a fucking issue. That's a global issue, but if you don't want to talk about global issues, let's talk about the infrastructure as far as roads, bridges, fucking train tracks, all of that shit. Those are all in fucking disrepair from coast to coast. Education, huge fucking joke. Like, kids don't know how to fucking read, and it seems to be okay with everybody.
Yeah.
But just in case they do learn how to read, we want to make sure and fucking change all of the books that have ever been written so that there's nothing offensive in them if they do learn to read. But I mean, these are things where instead of, you know, sending all of this money to NASA or whoever would be in charge, Space Force, which is also a branch of the military.
Yeah. How much money goes to that now? I mean, you'd think that based on what we're talking about, that would be
I'm sure they'll get more next year.
Yeah, it's going to keep increasing.
Yeah. But I mean, so all of these agencies, departments are getting a ton of fucking money, and you know, education and infrastructure and everything else. I think when we did our budget episode,
that was way back at the beginning.
We talked about how education got 11% and military got 12%, and that ended up being billions and billions of dollars. And I could be wrong, but I mean, it was something like that.
Well, education's nowhere near 1% under what goes to the military, but that's a different discussion.
Right.
For a different day.
So we've got
we have things
real fucking problems that could be fixed with that money, instead of worrying about some fucking threat that may or may not exist. And if the planet even lasts another fucking 25 years,
it might be a moot fucking point to begin with.
Right. Yeah. So let's fix the problem in front of our face instead of worrying about the one that is, you know, 3,700 miles down the road.
And as we do that, maybe it would be good for, you know, the corporate government power structure to try to create a space where our entire population isn't so absolutely cynical. Meaning, if you want to talk to us about the importance of creating a defensible position in relation to U.A.Ps and whatever non-human biologics are tied to those U.A.Ps, trust your population enough to show us real evidence and talk to us about it like you're not some sort of paternalistic fucking, you know, we don't need you to guide us through this shit all day, every day. Be honest with us, and you're probably going to get us to work with you a lot more without so much resistance. But as long as you continue to treat us like children, we're going to stand here and tell you to fuck yourselves, which doesn't mean that we're acting like children, but maybe a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I know I have a tendency to kind of throw a fit. But that isn't what a lot of people are doing. I'm sure that there are lots of people right now going, did you see that fucking House committee hearing? Jesus Christ, we're in a lot of trouble. I know that I only make $37,000 a year, but if they ask me to, I'd give them more to make sure that we're protected
I'll
from
skip a
those
meal.
alien motherfuckers.
I'll skip 2 meals.
So, we are over an hour now. We're at an hour and 5 minutes, thereabout. You got anything else you want to talk about on this one?
No, I think we pretty much covered the important stuff. I think the culture one's going to be fun because there's a lot of stuff that's here that I can tie back into a bunch of movies that, like I said, I love that movie Arrival. I'll be excited to talk about that one a little bit. Contact a little bit. There's a bunch of movies. Just because Contact was about the creation of that, the mechanism that, you know.
Yeah,
so
that was the Jodie Foster one,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but I mean, just because I'm trying to think about it in terms of like the way that they get here, you know, because of this is all U.A.P stuff.
Yeah. The Day the Earth Stood Still is one that's pretty decent.
Did you ever see the movie Fire in the Sky?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think he got anal probed like Cartman.
Oh no, I was thinking of October Sky.
No, that's a different. Yeah, that's a different.
Yeah.
It's an.
And I'm obviously, since we're gonna be talking about the defensive posture, or since we just did, I've got to talk about Mars Attacks.
You know what I haven't seen that I should have watched is that one. They're up in space. It's the military, and they're fighting all those big bug things. It's a hilarious fucking. It's like a cult movie.
It's Starship Troopers.
Yeah, Starship Troopers. Yeah,
it's fucking badass.
Yeah, I've never watched that.
That one's pretty decent, but because of the fact that they're fighting bugs, or I should say, Ender's Game reminds me of Starship Troopers.
Ender's, I like the book a ton better. I love Ender's Game. That's fucking wonderful stuff.
So yeah, we'll talk about sci-fi and entertainment, maybe some books. And Roddenberry was a good sci-fi guy.
Yeah, Martian Chronicles. That's a happy. But that's just a collection of stories. Weird fucking book.
Yeah. So we'll catch you in the next couple of episodes. Remember, buy a fucking t-shirt, you cheap bastards.
And what's the 31st of July, Brian?
It is our 1-year anniversary.
You've been listening to our bullshit for a year now.
1 year.
Just the first year of many to come. So 720-334-ROLL.
Shortbusdebateclub at yahoo.com.
We will talk to you soon.
All right. Later.